Stop playing the victim. Yes, I'm talking to you. Sunrises and soft serve. It's all coming up.
Welcome to the Hopefulist, a daily talk show hosted by veteran broadcaster Wendy McClure. Join Wendy each day as she shares her life lessons that transformed her from perpetual pessimist to the ultimate hopefulist. The perfect morning show to get you caught up on the day's top stories while sharing insights that will lead to positive transformation and bring out the hopefulist in you. For more inspiration, visit Hopefulist.com. And now, here's your host and hopefulist, Wendy McClure.
Welcome to a Thursday. Poor Thursday. Nobody likes you. It's August 20th, 2020. Day 313 of Gotta Get on Ellen. I do have a new appreciation for Thursday, though, I have to tell you. Now that I've strictly gone back to my you must work out on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thursday's a rest day, so that's not as bad as it used to be. So welcome Thursday. Still a little bit of, the precursor to Friday. So we always, just are thinking more about Friday than we are actual Thursday, except for today. Because you know why? Today, according to the weather people, is going to be magnificent. That is the word they use. It's going to be magnificent today at the Jersey Shore. Low humidity, low temperatures, brilliant sunshine. Boy, I'm stoked. Let's go. Let's do this day. Tucker got me up in the middle of the night again. Trying to decide if I'm going to be able to squeeze in a nap. Got lots to do today. When the day is magnificent, you got to take full advantage. I was thinking about maybe going on a little bike ride because you know what I did yesterday? That's right, I finally went on a bike ride. First bike ride of the summer for me. Thank you. I appreciate the congratulations. As you may or may not be aware, I sprained my ankle. It was about 6 weeks ago. So I've been trying to slowly incorporate more into my daily routine. It's feeling a little stiff, and it feels a little overused today, but not too terrible. And, biking's not that bad. I mean, you're just, it's just going around in a little circle. So I might try and squeeze in another short bike ride today. Tomorrow will be the real test when it is time for me to do my full body workout, which usually has me doing a lot of jumping and a lot of squats and or lunges. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it's going to be a great weather day, and they're saying tomorrow's going to be pretty good too. These are the days, people, the dog days of summer. Now that usually means a bad thing, but summer's coming to a close. 2 more weeks until Labor Day weekend. It's crazy. It's just going by so fast. So stop. Take some time to enjoy. Even if you are still going into work every day, go outside for lunch. Take a walk. Just eat outside. Have your dinner on the deck tonight or on your little patio. Whatever you have. Go for a stroll in the neighborhood after dinner. Take the dog for a walk. Just make sure to enjoy this gift from Mother Nature. Because the heat and humidity, they'll be back on Saturday. So it is a very quick break. Welcome, Tucker. My podcast partner has decided to join me. She just took her spot under the table, just so that you're aware. Went over, sniffed her food, and then came over and took her usual spot under the kitchen table. I got my camera. So super excited about this. I even got it a day early. I love when that happens. I love when I get things a day early. It is called a Canon PowerShoot, which I'm sure is not a, very fancy, fantastical camera or whatever, but it's way better than my iPhone. And man, it's got a lot of parts. There's a lot to figure out when it comes to this thing. So I'm been playing around with it. I got a couple of shots here and there. I got my memory card, I got my battery, I got my backup battery, I got my little carrying case. I got all kinds of stuff. So I'm ready to go. Ready to take some pictures. Interesting enough, when Tucker did get me up in the middle of the night, it was about 1:15, and I put her outside, and I stood out on the deck, and I looked up, and it was the most stars I had ever seen in this area. There were so many stars, and I even thought, I'm like, oh, I should go get my camera. But I know there's like a night mode and all that, and I don't really know how to work that yet, so I will wait. But the sky last night was so cool, and I could see a lot of the stars like twinkling, like twinkle, 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 little star. And then I saw one moving, and then I realized it was a plane. So whenever you get a chance, if your dog gets you up in the middle of the night, make sure to look up. Just look up. So I'm hoping that I'm going to have my camera all figured out soon, and I will be taking the most amazing pictures. If anybody has a really, any type of camera that is similar to, what I've gotten and can give me some shortcuts, that would be so appreciated. I hate reading manuals, but at least it came with a manual. Many of these things don't even come with a manual anymore. They just tell you to look it up online, which annoys the crap out of me. Whenever you get a new iPhone or an iPad or whatever, and we all know how to work those, I guess. Maybe that's the issue. Same thing with computers now. There's just, this is how you set it up, and then, you're on your own. You're on your own. So at least there was a little manual. So it has been very helpful so far. So I'm very grateful for that. But, yeah, I'm going to be taking pictures galore. It's supposed to take video, too. Now, I have a little ring light, which the light does not work, never worked. Well, it worked for like a week. And it doesn't really even matter that much to me because with the ring light on, you can just see the glare of it in my glasses. So it's not that big of a deal for me to not put the light on, even though that's the purpose of the whole thing. When I tried to contact the company to let them know it wasn't working properly, I got properly ignored. So, but it does have a remote where you can take pictures with the remote, which is very convenient. So I like that feature a lot. And I'm wondering if there's a way I can hook this camera up to that remote. I'm not sure. I'll have to ask some people. When it comes to sunrises or sunsets, which do you prefer? I, for most of my life, have been a sunset person. I've seen a lot of sunrises in my time. But when I moved to LBI first time around, many years ago, I had a spot right on the bay. And I got to see the sun set every single night from my backyard or even from my window in the house, really. And I very much got used to seeing it on a regular basis. Even another time, Joe and I had rented a place in Surf City. And it wasn't on the bay, but it was like a half a block. So I would walk up very often just to catch the shot. And if you were Facebook friends with me then, you saw me post them every single night. I probably was quite annoying. But they always just seem so amazing, and they all just seem a little bit different. So it's always like, well, this one wasn't as good last night, so I'll post it again. So I do actually prefer the sunset. However, since we've been living in this house, the way this house faces, literally cannot see the sunset from our house. Now, if I went out of the house and probably went into the middle of the road and looked down the road, I'd be able to see at least the colors and such. And sometimes when I'm sitting on my porch, I can see the colors like off in the distance, but they're kind of off to the side and behind the house, which makes it really difficult. And that's why it really annoys me when I get onto Facebook and I see like our group page, our community group page or something, and people are like, oh, the most amazing sunset tonight. I'm like, there was. I didn't know. I missed it. So now I see a lot more sunrises, but I still have to actually get up off my butt and drive to the beach in order to see them, which I did earlier this week and got some pretty cool shots. I'll have to make a special trip just to do some sunrises. Some sunsets, because I don't remember the last time I went to the island to watch a sunset. The cool thing about Long Beach Island, and I guess this is really kind of any barrier island, is if you're on the bay side, it does appear like the sun is going down over the water once again, because it's going down over the bay. So you see it come up over the ocean and down over the bay. So it's kind of an unobstructed view on both sides of the island, which is really kind of cool. But when it comes to what you prefer, sunrise over sunset, yeah, the overwhelming majority is sunset. I think a lot because people just see more of them. You don't have to get up at 5 a.m. to see them. In fact, you don't have to get up that early now, but I think when I went to the beach the other day, the sunrise was at 6:18, which is not terribly early. So Barb says, I've taken beautiful sunrise and sunset photos. It's like another world at the river with the sunrise and the morning sounds of birds, etc. I usually sleep in, so I take sunset shots now. Yeah. You know, Jim said, I'm not a morning person, so the only sunrises I've seen is with me. He says, I love the beautiful colors in the sunset and the way they represent another passing day that is in the books. You know, similarly, that's why I love the sunrises, is I love that it's a signal to the start of a new day. And as Barb was saying, the birds are there, and, you know, it's usually pretty quiet. There's usually not many people there. There was the other day because, you know, it's the middle of August and, you know, it's a big time for vacation around here. Marnie says sunrise to sunset back to back. I think that was actually reversed. We went out on the boat when Marnie was here last year and watched a sunset from the water, which was awesome. And then I got her up early the next day to go watch a sunrise. That was a very awesome trip when she was here last year. Deborah says sunset. I have to get up too early for sunrise. Let's see. Martin says sunrise by the ocean, sunset by a lake. Lauren says that depends. Did I drink the night before? Very good point. Very good point. So yes, we had a lot of predominantly sunset choices, which is fine. They're both beautiful, and I've always preferred the sunset, but I will take a sunrise. I will take a sunrise any time of the day. So I had asked another question because yesterday was National Soft Ice Cream Day. Soft serve ice cream is my favorite. I love it. I love a plain vanilla soft serve on a wafer cone. My absolute favorite. I don't need anything on it, no sprinkles, nothing. So I wanted to hear from you. How do you take your soft ice cream? Do you like it in a cone, a dish, or a sundae? I do sometimes get a dish now because there is an ice cream place on the island that has what they call anniversary sprinkles, which are really good. But I just don't like them on the cone. They kind of melts off and gets all over your hands. So sometimes I'll get it in a dish if I'm going to that particular place. And I don't typically get soft ice cream in a sundae because it's too melty. You know, it just causes the ice cream to melt too fast. So Cheryl says she prefers vanilla at Coors on the OC Boardwalk. You know, people love Coors ice cream. I'm not a fan. I don't know. I'll have to try it again. Linda says a cone, swirl of chocolate with sprinkles, but Jimmy's if you're in the north. That's right. It's a Philly thing. Corinne says cone, swirl of vanilla and chocolate, or vanilla and orange sherbet. Yes, that's popular as well. Marcy says chocolate and vanilla twist in a wafer cone. Michelle says chocolate vanilla swirl. Eve says Coors, again, twisty cone, vanilla and chocolate with chocolate Jimmy's. Joe says recently discovered our local Goodberries has a Snickers sundae, my new go-to. That sounds really good. I used to love Snickers in my Blizzards from Dairy Queen. You know the Blizzards. And then the last time I was there, they said they stopped supplying Snickers. They don't have it as an option anymore. Well, I haven't been back since. It's just not worth the trip all the way down the island. And Andrew says, oh, it's all good. Yeah, I agree. When it comes to ice cream, it's all good. Will not eat chocolate, though. Do not like chocolate ice cream. I just don't like it. I don't know why. Now, I've said before, if I have no other choice but chocolate cake, I will eat it. But I will not eat chocolate ice cream. I don't like it. Just don't like it. Moving on to the blog post for today. Don't play the victim. Just don't do it. You know you do it sometimes. You know it. So the quote I put up is, sometimes you have to let go of the picture of what you thought life would be like and learn to find joy in the story you are actually living. Yes, this is very much a part of being a victim because you can't seem to let go of the past. You can't seem to let go of how things should have been. So it's time for some tough talk. Part of living with intention is to direct your life where you want it to go. Forward. That is where you should have your focus, not backward. We get so bogged down in the what ifs and the whys. We often get stuck and can't go anywhere. Is this you at all? Do you ever or often ask why? Why did this happen to me? Why did things go this way? Why aren't we friends anymore? Why didn't he love me? Do any of these questions sound familiar to you? Asking why has a purpose. It helps us to understand. It can give us closure. If we don't deal with the issues surrounding the why, it is harder to get past it. If you can't seem to get an answer or the closure you are looking for, you have to find a way to just move along, doggy. There will often be times that there just won't be an answer. It won't help us to get stuck in the why me. You are casting yourself as a victim. And maybe you are a victim. But only you can move on from that mentality. Only you have the power to either learn from it or move past it without getting stuck in it. I have parents who are uninvolved in my life. Neither of them seemed very interested in what I was doing as an adult. Why? I have no idea. To boot, it's both of them. I'm so envious of people who have one really caring parent, let alone two. Maybe it had something to do with their upbringing. Maybe it was the way they handled trauma in their life. Maybe they have a personality disorder. Whatever the issue is, revisiting the situation and staying stuck in the unfairness is only hurting, wait for it, you. That's right. If you can't figure out why things worked out the way they did, and I urge you to seek therapy if you are stuck, then you need to find a way to put it behind you and move on with your life. Maybe you had a crappy upbringing. Maybe you didn't get the same opportunities that other kids had. Maybe you were raised with terrible habits that mean you are unhealthy. You know, that sucks. And it's a shame. But it's time to get over it. Don't let your parents rob you of any more of the life you truly deserve by being mad and crying, why me? I chose a field to work in that is notoriously tough. People get fired all the time for absolutely no reason. I've lost many jobs that had nothing to do with the work that I do. I found myself out of a job because the radio station got bought by another company, when a contract ran out, even when some companies went out of business altogether. Yet there are people in my business that have had the same position for 20 plus years. What is the difference between them and me? Are they better at their job than me? Possibly. Do they have a close relationship with the powers that be? Maybe. Did they just land at the right place at the right time? Probably has a lot to do with it. I'm not saying you shouldn't examine your habits and see if those other people do more than you, seem more committed than you, or are willing to do whatever is asked of them, to a point. But if it's not any of those things, complaining about how unfair things are will get you absolutely nowhere. There is a time for it. There is a period where crying, screaming, and even feeling sorry for yourself is absolutely called for, and you are entitled to it. But if you can't figure out the exact reasons why, then move on. Don't let a bad situation define your life. That's why I've transitioned into this type of work. After 25 plus years of having my fate in the powers that I have no control over, I've decided to take the power into my own hands. I can work my butt off and reap my own rewards. And I will. It will happen. You have to do what is best for you in your life, to live the life that you've always dreamed of. I've talked about losing friends in the past. It hurts me more than anything to lose a friend. I take it harder than going through a breakup, because when a couple breaks up, it's usually because they aren't happy with how their life is going. And you are a huge part of their life. So I kind of get that. This is not how I want to live my life. Okay, well, then we need to split up. But when it comes to friends, you only spend a certain amount of time with them. It's not like your life revolves around them and vice versa. So when I lose a friend, I think, how awful must I be for someone to never want to be around me? Someone who used to spend a lot of time with me. Here's the deal. It's likely you will never know the true reason. I've come up with some of my own explanations, and whether they are true or not, I don't really know. But it's the best I could come up with, and it helps me move on. I've lost friends because of jealousy. I've lost friends because I pissed them off, and they decided not to forgive me. I've lost friends because their spouse didn't like me. It goes on. And the fact is, it will likely happen again. But it doesn't mean that there is something wrong with me, nor is there something wrong with you. But if you keep wallowing in the unfairness and ruminating over what happened, you won't be able to move past it and find the new squad of friends you are supposed to be with now. The next time you find yourself saying, "Why me?" stop and ask how that is helping you in the life you are living right now. What is playing the victim doing for you? I'm sure it's not much. It's a good excuse. But it's not really taking you anywhere. In fact, it's doing much worse than that. It's holding you back. It might make you feel better about your situation, but like I said, it will never improve if you don't start to do things differently. How can you move forward in spite of all of the unfairness you've been dealt with? To go on to live the life of your dreams. That has to be your focus. Focus forward. Keep your focus forward. Don't look back. That's not where you're going. I know this is all easier said than done. A little bit at a time. A little bit at a time. Baby steps, and it will get you there. If you want to change, you are the one that has to do it. Oh my, it is I Wish It Were Cocktail Friday. Thursday, we are almost there, people. Almost there. So are you playing the victim? Nobody wants to admit this, but it can set you free once you do. So seriously, ask that question to yourself and figure out the answer. And then go out there and start being your badass self. I'm right here cheering you on.
Thank you for listening to The Hopefulist, hosted by Wendy McClure. For more inspiration, please visit Hopefulist.com. Thanks, and we'll see you tomorrow on The Hopefulist.
Oh, stupid Thursday.